we talking about today? Factoring again, right? Didn't we talk about factoring yesterday? What did we talk about yesterday? So we started off with greatest common factor, right? We checked that first every time. But after we checked greatest common factor, we started off with two terms, right? And you guys discussed difference in sum of squares and difference in sum of cubes, right? If it's two terms, we want to check to see. You want to ask yourself, is this a difference of squares? It is a sum of squares, depending on what the sign is, right? You don't want it to be something plus something else, and you're like, is this the difference? No, it's not a difference. Silly. It's sum, right? So you're using wise questions to try to figure out what you're factoring, correct? And then we also did what? Four terms, right? Grouping, factoring by grouping. And I might be mistaken, but you guys seemed like really good at grouping. Did you feel really confident with grouping? Okay, I'm really glad about that, and you'll see why in a moment. Okay? So yesterday we did two terms and four terms, special circumstances, right? What do you think we're going to do today? 3, excellent. Okay, let's start here. X squared minus 2x minus 15. Is that a good place to start? Okay. So today I'm going to show you two ways to do this one. One is easier. One is easy and the other is easier. Okay? I'm going to show you the easy way first, and then I'm going to show you the easier way. But the easy way works every time, but the easier way only works on a special time, but it's so easy. You ready? Do you know the general form of a quadratic? Do you know what that looks like? Do you remember that? Ax squared plus bx plus c? Okay? So if I ask you in this case to identify a, what is a in this problem? 1. What's b in this problem? Close, TJ. -2. Excellent. What about c? -15. So that gives us a clue that we need to make sure to keep the signs with the numbers, right? Okay, thank you for bringing that up. I know you did it on purpose. It's fine. Okay? So what I want you to do is identify... Oh, here's the other thing about this. I don't know how you've done this in the past because there's lots of different ways to factor trinomials. Okay? I'm teaching you the easiest way I know. Okay? Last period they were telling me there was some sort of box thing that they did. But after I showed them this way, they did not want to box anymore. Okay? So again, I don't know how you've done it before. I'm showing you the easiest way I know how to do it, and we'll go from there. Is that okay? Okay. And one more thing before we start. I've only known this way for like 10 years. I used to, when I was taught how to do this, I was taught to guess. Just try your best, figure it out. Okay. And then about 10 years ago at a workshop that I went to, which is just a bunch of teachers getting together to learn from each other, I learned this way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. So that's why I'm going to teach it to you. Is that okay? Okay. So here's what I want you to tell me. What is AC? What am I wanting you to do with A and C? Multiply them, right? Okay, so A is 1 and C is -15. So what is AC? -15, right? What's B? -2. What I need you to tell me is what two numbers multiply to give you -15 and add to give you -2. Well, what two numbers multiply to be 15 to begin with? 1 and 15, 3 and 5, right? Well, you know it has to be -15, so one of the numbers has to be negative, right? Do you see any combination of either 1 and 15 or 3 and 5 that you can put a negative with to get -2? 3 and -5. Everybody okay with that? So I'm going to go back to the original problem, and I'm actually going to rewrite the original problem. X squared plus 3x minus 5x minus 15. Whoa. Minus 15. Does everybody see what I did? I figured out what AC was. I figured out what B was. I figured out what multiplies to be AC and adds to be B. And I took that middle term and split that into the two parts. This is still an equivalent equation with this, isn't it? Because 3 minus 5 is negative 2, right? Okay. Now it has 4 terms. And you might be thinking, why in the world would I go from 3 terms to 4 terms? Oh, grouping. This is the one you guys were so good at yesterday, right? Group them. These and these. What's common in the first two? If I factor out an x from the first two, what do I have left? X plus 3. Somebody else, what's common in the last two? Negative 5. If I factor out a negative 5 from each term, what's left? X plus 3, right? Plus 3 because I factored out a negative 5. Now looking at these two terms, 1, 2, do they have anything in common? An x plus 3. If I factor out an x plus 3, what's left? X minus 5. Done. Hard or easy? Can I show you the easier way? Now remember, what did I tell you about this way? It works every time, right? This way works every time. The easier way, does it work every time? No. So the first thing you have to realize is when does it work and when does it not work? Okay? So I'll tell you right now, this only works when the leading coefficient is 1. If the leading coefficient is 1, this way works. Got it? Now you start the same way. What's AC? And what's B?
-2.
What two numbers multiply to be negative 15 and add to be negative 2? X plus 3, x minus 5. Done. Wasn't that so easy? This way wasn't really hard to begin with, but look what happens when the leading coefficient's 1. We find AC and we find B, and we say what multiplies to be AC and multiplies to be B, and those are automatically the two factors. Yeah, okay. Now, how could you check this to see if your factors were correct?
Plug it in.
No. Good guess. So multiply, right? X times x is x squared. X times negative 5. 3 times x. So negative 5x and 3x. Negative 2x. So, and then 3 times negative 5. Done. Can we do one more example?
Yes.
And I want to do it both ways again. Okay? X squared minus 14x plus 45. Which way you want to do first? Easy way or easiest way? Easiest. Okay, so what's AC? 1 times 45. 45. What's B? Negative 14. What two numbers multiply to be 45 and add to be negative 14? Negative 5 and negative 9. If we're doing the easiest way, we go straight to our factors. And then we're done. Right? What if we just do the easy way? What do we do? We rewrite the problem. by splitting the middle term into those two parts, right? And then we factor by grouping. What's common in the first two terms? If I factor out an x, what do I have left? X minus 5. What's common in the second two terms? Negative 9. Ooh, good catch. Negative 9, right? Because what do I need my parentheses to say? It needs to say x minus 5, right? So that it matches this first parentheses. Because now what do these two terms have in common? X minus 5. And what's left? X minus 9. Can I ask you a weird question? What if somebody wrote this as the answer? It's the same, right? You okay with that? What if somebody wrote this as the answer? This is not the same, right? We have to have our signs in the right place. But if our signs are in the right place, it doesn't matter which one of these factors comes first, does it? Because it doesn't matter what order we multiply in. You okay with that? Do you have any questions about this? Okay, then let me give you your worksheet for today. Yes, we have a worksheet today. I thought we would do something different. Okay. Notice on the front of your worksheet, you have 1 through 20. And on the back of your worksheet, you have 1 through 20. I would like you to do the evens. Got it? You got the evens on both sides. So that does give you 20 homework assignments or homework problems. And I know that's way more than I usually give you. But they're fast, aren't they? Okay, I want you to have a little bit of practice with this, a little bit of thought with the whole multiply to be something, add to be something. You got it? Any questions?